Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and today I'm talking about Operation Jackal, the update that hit CoH3 recently. Kind of going over a number of different things with it. First off, I'm glad they did bug fixes. I'm glad that the colors have been fixed, all that stuff. So that stuff I think generally people are fine about. I don't think that's where a lot of anger and other things are coming from the general community. But I will say, in case you're wondering why I took so long to talk about this, simply put, I've just been super busy. I've put in a lot of overtime over the past 3 weeks because there's something big happening in the next few days. I need to make sure that everything goes well with that. After that, things should absolutely calm down with my job. So as soon as that happens, I will be back as normal with my stream schedule and hopefully content, as well as more in-depth stuff, because I've been really wanting to go over more overview of the battle groups, of units, of factions, but I just haven't had time to really sit down and dive into it. So let's get into something that right now I can. The upcoming patch, or the patch right now, right? So Operation Jackal, or Sapphire Jackal. Oh boy. So the store got released, and initially I'm like, okay, let's look at this. And immediately upon looking at this, I'm like, congratulations, Relic. You essentially just... I'm not trying to say you're doing a Halo Infinite, but in a lot of ways this is giving me flashbacks to Halo Infinite. Which again, as long as you're very forward-facing about this stuff, I generally don't care. Because again, cosmetics don't really affect me in the game, so that's the part where I don't mind it. It's not like CoH2 where you would essentially have commanders locked away, right? That's more immediate impact. And I think each commander's like, what, $3? So yeah, that's more immediate impact because you have units the other person doesn't. So there's certain strategies that can be used or countered, essentially, especially as certain builds become more prevalent, right? Like the Storm Tiger, when it got buffed, everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna get the Storm Tiger, but if you didn't have that commander, you're out of luck. Now I will say the cosmetics in CoH2 for the light vehicles, the medium vehicles, and the heavy vehicles, I think the most expensive was $6, and you can use merits, which you can use here. That's what the blue thing is. You get these merit coins or resources, whatever. You get that in-game currency, and then you can buy currency. Now, before I get to that, let's get to the merits. The merits are up here, and they're essentially these challenges that you unlock. I'm kind of iffy on this. One, I don't mind the idea of having, again, certain specific things you do in multiplayer that helps people, you know, do a multitude of different strategies and other things. The problem is right now is this, right? As you can see, there is a certain focus that all these currently have, where you have kill 50 vehicles as the Africa Corps, kill 50 vehicles as the Wehrmacht, kill 50 vehicles with armored cars. Killing a lot of vehicles. Okay. Look, I'm not saying you won't kill a lot of vehicles, but I'm saying is right now it's like, oh, well, I can get an 8 rad, or I could maybe, you know, focus myself as the Africa Corps or the Wehrmacht, right? So a lot of these are focused. So if you pump out a lot of these weekly stuff that is siding a lot more toward one faction than the other, yeah, you're gonna have the matchmaking system kind of slightly imbalanced, which is kind of what happened in Halo sometimes, where there would be like a thing in certain modes, and it's like, well, I want to play big team. Oh, well, it's gonna take forever, and big team's crashing. Wonderful. So that's my initial concern for that. Also, making them fun and diverse, just having 50-50-50 is something that real quickly, it's like, oh, okay. Can we have some mixture? Can we have finish a game in under 15 minutes, or you know, keep your victory points above 400, or you know, something that's a bit more unique and interesting. Like that way, you know, the difficulty ones, like, why is the kill 50 vehicles as the Africa Corps when they have the Flak 38 or Flak 36, sorry, more merits than the Wehrmacht, right? So what's the difference here? So that's also the thing, is like give the amount of points dedicated to the actual challenge, right? So you do this, and that's what, 250, 250. So that's 500. That's 900. And then, of course, you got your dailies, which is 100 or 30. 30 merits. Okay. Yeah, that's like 50 or 100. I get 30 seems a bit low. I get it. It's build 5 modified AT mines. Real simple stuff. But also, I feel like it should be have an enemy unit hit one of your mines. There you go. That's not, like, that way it's not just do a generic thing. It's have it, you know, it's like a step-by-step process, right? To actually use it in combat. That's my personal stuff. Now, again, I know some stuff in Halo Infinite, like get a kill with a gravity hammer might be more difficult for some than others, but that's why you have certain modes or challenges, stuff like that. And again, I think that's what this needs, as well as make sure there's not just one game mode, or, you know, you have different things that you encourage people to do. Recover a vehicle with a recovery vehicle. There you go. That's something, and then you get points. That way encourages people to try different strategies. Alright, but anyway, so you do all this, and technically if you get all that done, it's a lot of vehicles, but if you play a number of matches, get all of it done, you could theoretically get 1,000 points. And 1,000 merits, whatever, I'm just saying merits at this point, gets you what essentially? So, you spend all that time, you essentially unlocked, you can get one of these. Now, these highlights, now if we go to your loadout, right, and the legendary, I guess, skin that I got, the Devil's Brigade, you can see here that each one, or at least special, is unlocked for the Rifleman, right? Or it's unlocked for the Scout, right? So there is one thing unlocked for that unit. And then for the store, we go here. So essentially this, I'm assuming, yeah, the Scout unit, that's the only unit that's going to get this custom thing. So that's worth 1,000 merit. Or you can fork over some money. Now, if I quickly did the math over here, and again, this is just me doing very quick math. So $5 is about so about $1 is equal to 120 wombos. All right, so that means 120 wombos, right, is equal to 2 of these unit skins, right? So that means it's 50 cents for one of these, right? That's with the base one. So now we go into the best value, 7,500 wombos, right? That is on average 150 wombos, right? So you're on average for that, you're getting, you know, $1 is 150 wombos. So you are technically getting a little more wombos. All right, great. I'm just going to keep saying wombos because now I'm just enjoying myself right now. All right. So then you kind of reduce that overall down to one of these to about equivalent to like 40 cents. So essentially it's 50 cents for the general value, and the best value is 40 cents. You're saving 10 cents essentially. So it's not exactly a huge, you know, savings or deal, right? And now you may ask yourself, well, Greyshot, why would you spend $50 on in-game wombos? Well, it's very simple. If you go to the cosmetics, right, we can see here, right? It's like, okay, there's all these coins, right? And how much is the most expensive one? So if we go up to all of these, right, you can see for the Vermok, we got ourselves the Africa Corps, we got ourselves the British. It's like, oh, okay, well, you can get all these different, wait, no, they all look the same. Yes, they're all the same, well, they're all the same skin for the faction. And again, you maybe like, maybe think to yourself, well, Greyshot, I'll just use merits. No, you can't use merits for these. It will show you merits, like down here with this Stuka that my face is blocking. It's 4,000 merits, right? Okay, 4,000 merits. And then there's nothing else, I believe, that is worth merits. That's the Stuka is the only thing that you can do, right? Okay. So if the Stuka is the only thing you can do, by the way, vehicles are more expensive, right? So if we go by that calculation, the skin for this is worth about, well, I'm just going to go say general, the 50 cents for about, you know, every 60 coins. So that's going to equal $2 or $3 for a Martyr 3. Okay. 17 pounder is worth $1.50. Generally, I don't mind the idea of individually purchasing units, because I would rather have certain units I'm going to use rather than buy everything. That's not... So actually, I kind of like them doing... If they're going to do cosmetics, I would rather them individual. That's actually fine with me, right? Here's the problem, though. Here's where we get into, wait a second. Then you start adding things up, and then you go, uh-oh. Because in CoH3, you had light vehicles, you had medium vehicles, and you had heavy vehicles, right? And that's had skins that was $6. Well, but if you calculate all of this, right? That's 1,500. That's 21. That's 27. That's 27, right? That's 2,700 wombos. That's gonna cost you $22, $22.50 for all of this. Right? In CoH3, it was $6. And even then, I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. You get it, your skin, there's mods with it. You could do that custom, whatever, I don't mind. $22 for skins. Okay. Now, is it this uniform perfection? Well, let's check that real quick. So the Vermok. Okay. Vermok, you get your Mega Tundra. By the way, it tells you all the stuff that you get. So if you're wondering, like, okay, what units do you get with this? It does at least tell you that. So that's good. You know, but again, it feels like it's like you have to collect them all sort of mentality, because was it the Grandier? Yeah, so everything is kind of scattered about. So let's double check this one. Well, obviously it looks like it's a bit more. So 360 plus 540, general math is 800, plus that is 27, plus the sniper, we're a bit more, ladies and gentlemen. We're at $24, give or take, for the Vermok. Africa Core, you get all this. That's 1,200. It's actually the cheapest one right now. That's at right now. Was it 2,640? So slightly less. So about $22. And then the British is 540. So that's 1080. Which add in the other 1080. That's 2,160. Actually, this is the cheapest. 2,160. Then you plus 22. 2340. So again, it's a little bit, it's under $20 for all of this. Again, I don't mind the idea of buying individual things, but also allow the person to do that, because right now it's all in these packs. So if I do this pack, it's, well, I get the Hubbard, the Grant, or Stewart. I don't care for any of those. Well, this one's the Matilda and Engineers. And that one is worth 540. Okay, so again, calculate that up. That's worth, what, $4.50? Then you got this. This is Foot Guards, Infantry Section AT guns. And this one is just a 17-pounder. And that's $1.50. Again, if they're going to do this, then my general thing is have all the units in one thing. So individual, you can buy them. And then just a big faction pack. And I understand that they want to separate it because they don't want to hide how much it truly costs, but still, that's quite a bit. That's quite a lot of money for all these cosmetics. And again, there are people that are going to put the argument, which is rightfully, again, they have full right to say this, where this game currently is lacking features that CoH3 has, and you're currently charging more in terms of cosmetics for all of this, which I don't think is generally right. Now, again, I like the idea of them kind of having specific units that you can get, right? Like, if I just want a Tiger, or like Matilda, let's say I want a Grant skin. Hey, I like Grants. I want a cool Grant skin. I don't mind plopping a dollar for it. What was it? And again, I generally don't think like 50 cents for a skin, especially if I really like Scouts or Pioneers or anything. I don't think that's a bad price. But the fact that if you go here and then it's like, oh, if you want your Grant skin, well, you also have to buy the Stewart and the Hubbard, and that is going to be $9, right? It's like, okay. I understand they have to make money. I get it. And there's also the idea they don't want to balance things to push certain units ahead to make them more likely to be shown. But this is $10, and this is the Panzer 3 skin, Panzer 4, Martyr 3, Stug, and a Tiger. Okay, what? This is epic rarity. Okay. sure. For me, I think the more expensive stuff is a little ridiculous. I don't mind them going individual. I think that's the better way to go. And I actually don't mind the base infantry cost. But again, if we're looking at this, I think this store does need a little bit of a retrofit. And I think if they are surprised by the blowback from the store, they should not be. Because again, the game is missing replays, missing observation mode, missing ranked mode. There's a lot of stuff missing right now. So I think it was... They shouldn't be surprised that the community is going to be upset by this, and they should also not be. They should also probably have an idea of when those features are going to be coming. Again, if it's going to be in the next month, I don't mind. I'd rather it come out fine. But right now, essentially, you have what people see as an unfinished game, and now you're putting in a store where you have to spend close to $100. Well. And give her, like, it's going to be, well, at 25, 24, it's not going to be 100. It's going to be like $80, $80, $90 around there. But to unlock skins, it's like, that seems like a bit much. Now, after that, let's get into some of the stuff that they changed with the vehicles. Now, there is not that many, so it won't take long to do this, but let's go into the vehicle stuff. All right, so anyway, for the Sherman, they changed up the, apparently its damage a bit. So we're just going to change the infantry for the Germans here. And we're going to see, well, how much it does. Okay, is it just hitting because the stuff in front of it, or... Oh, this is not looking great. The 76 does not have the firepower it used to. All right, if you expect it to come on in, all right, let's try about those, gustatori. All right, it can still do some damage. It's just not gonna be the end all be all it was. Unless I'm mistaken here. But it seems like it's doing okay, but it's not doing amazing. Again, it still will do work, and I assume it will, if you group it up with multiple Shermans, it could definitely help, but it definitely doesn't have the bang that it previously did. But I don't think it's terrible, because it's still wearing down the infantry at a pretty consistent rate, especially if they group up. So this one I don't think is too bad, but again, I think we should see upon the next one. But... Alright, so I got Pathfinder here. So the Pathfinders, you need to get the 30 munition upgrade for the unit. And once you get that, then you can pop the flare and also drop smoke. It also takes about a bit longer to make now. Again, the flare is still good. But if you, again, I have more rapid production on for it. But you have to do it each time for these units. I still don't think it necessarily reduces the impact of the Pathfinder because, again... American infantry, my 151's currently making a video on that, is still in a situation where riflemen are, I don't know. Riflemen are fine, but I feel like still trying to avoid them because of the fuel impact might still be better. But I definitely see this slowly having an effect. So let's see. How long do you have to wait? So it's like 2.5 minutes. How long with the smoke? Still does take time to fire the smoke grenade as well. Come on. There it goes. So it takes about 3 minutes. Okay. So it's still not too bad. Again, from what it seems like, they haven't changed that. You still have the flare, which is a little bit shorter, but that's generally fine. I think the reinforcement costs on these also have gone up. Yes, from 25 to 30. And yeah, the recharge time of the smoke grenade is 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So they made it a bit more expensive as well for these guys, which that itself could have an impact. Again, the reason why these were picked is just because of the fact that, well, riflemen have a bit of an issue. So it's one of those things, guys, where, hopefully they fix that. But here, let's check out the other things that, wait, actually, hold on. This engineer squad is now Vet 1, which now if I unlock this light up area, it just automatically gets a flamethrower. Interesting. I don't think that's terrible. So does that mean it automatically has the flamethrower without it? Or is it just, no, it puts it away and pulls out the gun. So he only can use it there, but he still has the flamethrower pack when I guess you unlock it. Okay. Interesting ability. And then if you want it consistently, you get the flamethrower upgrade. Huh. Okay. That's a nice little change. I actually don't mind that. That's pretty good. Here, all right, so let's change over to the Africa Corps. All right, so we're going to have an enemy Sherman. And I'm going to move in 3 of these Karos, which, by the way, I do, unless I'm mistaken, again, that's nice to it notifies. But, anyway, we're going to use armor-piercing rounds, which only increases now by 33% instead of the 90. Also, they don't get as many modifiers around them. I think the limit's 5 now, too. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on in. We're going to focus on the enemy. And then as soon as it gets in range, you're going to use armor-piercing rounds. There they go. Their cost now is 50, so you'll probably, again, with the battle group, if you do the, instead of 45, which would bring it down to, let's see, about 6 fuel. It's now 50 fuel, which if you do the 15% decrease in fuel and manpower, yeah, it will still, interesting. Okay, so it'll still actually be decently, not as expensive as a Sherman, right? So if I was to get another, let's say, I mean, they killed that Sherman pretty easily with 3 of them. So let's try 2. So we're going to give one of them veterancy because that makes things a little bit more even. We'll also put the Shermans out. Actually, we'll say they're flanking the Shermans, so that way they have a better shot, rear armor. This is like the best case scenario, right? You flank around, you're hitting them. Let's try to take them out, right? I'll activate the abilities for better penetration. All right, you're catching the Shermans off guard. Now, against a Matilda or something with thicker armor, I can definitely see these guys having a real rough time, but that's where the 76 would come in. Huh. I mean, I know it's rear armor, but that's still pretty good. And again, they increase the rate of fire with that. So here, we're going to increase their health again, right? And we're going to go with something a little bit thicker. We're going to use a British Matilda. All right, guys, let's go. 1 Matilda versus 3 Stuarts. Give it a check. Using additional penetration. Again, I know they kind of fixed the stacking and stuff. We're going to go around. Alright, if you get to the rear armor and use the additional penetration, they should still win. And they're still doing a pretty good... Oh, never mind. He did kill the one of the Karos. And now they're having trouble penetrating. Okay. Rear armor... Oh, I guess side armor he could still hit. Rear armor, he had a bit of a rough time. Alright. Interesting. Alright, so, I mean, they're still decent, but I can definitely see the small increases making them less impactful. But I feel like with these, you want to probably get support, right? So, again, if I'm looking at the Africa Corps, getting maybe some Martyrs, an 8-Rad for scouting, a Stu 3D against infantry, kind of like a more mix is actually kind of where I've seen a lot more higher level players do. So I feel like the update's fine in this case. I don't think it really hurts anything. Okay, something I do want to test before I go, because I'm actually kind of curious. So I'm just going to get an Ostwind, right? I'm making it the enemy. Selection, we're going to go enemy, right? Enemy Ostwind on the field. Oh, I'm calling it a paradrop reinforcement. It's in that general area. How quickly does it shoot down the flying plane that just does loop-de-loops? Okay, it immediately gets shot down. Immediately. It's not even a question. Okay. Yeah, they upped the cost of this to 150, and once again, the AA is just insane. Yeah, no. I am of the factor that if you have this, it is not great. Paradrop reinforcements, I would go with something else, maybe like the supply drop. Yeah, where you can do it closer to the, your territory, so that way you don't have to worry about being shot down. But right now, this is so costly. If they have 1 Ostwind, immediately shoots it down. No, yeah, no. Ooh, boy. No, 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 no. Alright, so we're going to test something out. So, okay, we got an enemy force. By the way, I do like how the colors at least do change. Because, again, I had purple, now they're red. So, that's nice that the enemy at least has some different colors. I wish... I don't mind them changing every... that a little bit. That's fine. Now, anyway, let's see. They changed the Loiter for the British. They increased the cost to 180, which makes sense. Also, rockets have been 6 to 5, and rocket damage is reduced by half. So let's see how much the rockets do against these men. All right. So if they're grouped up, it still does do quite a bit, especially against this martyr. He's coming back around. Tiger's still pretty good. They're focusing on the dead unit, though it's still hitting around it. So it'll still do some damage. Alright, that's the third pass it will do. Okay. Fourth pass. Okay, it's immediately down. Are we gonna finish it off? Okay. So, and again, I'm just doing this in general for Loiters, but they're still pretty damn effective. Okay. Good to know. Alright, so we got more, but again, this time I'm adding an Ostwind in. Let's do an the anti-tank Loiter. And let's see how long or how effective the planes are. Panzer IV is nearly half dead. Oh, they're coming back. I thought he got shot down. Plane does get shot down. Crashes over on the side. I think he's about to crash. Oh, he's circling back. I think. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So against those planes, it's not as immediate, but it will eventually shoot them down. It will do enough to kill armor, though. So if you're not careful, or if you don't have more of these, then yeah, it will definitely, at least if they're stationary, still kill like a Panzer IV, which is not bad at all. Interesting. But again, Ostwind's still very effective at being an AA gun. So if you have a Loiter or anything like that, and you're on the German side and you're versing the British, then yeah, you want to get AA. For the other side, again, the American half-track or the truck that you can upgrade with the upgrade for the Brits is what you probably want to get for your own AA, though I'm going to be doing an AA test here in the future to see which one's best, but overall, I think that's reasonable. I think 180, and it's enough to kill some armor, and it did enough passes to where it killed multiple armored units, so generally, I think that's fine. Again, I don't see any issues here. Again, I feel like a lot of the stuff that they did change, great, but I still think there's some additional stuff that they can alter and tweak. But that, look, that balance stuff is the one thing I'm actually not mad about. But yeah, no, I'm actually kind of glad about this stuff. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Just a couple tests of some of the changes. Anyway, this has been Greyshot17. My thoughts on the store and some of the gameplay changes, and I'll see you all next time. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tony B95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.